A theoretical physicist who was allegedly part of the CIA's Stargate program has claimed that he has seen an alien talking in a crystal clear 4K video. Let's dive in, see what this is all about. All right, so who is this guy? His name is Jack Sarfatti, and again, he is a theoretical physicist studying consciousness and quantum physics. Now, it's also been said that Jack Sarfatti was the inspiration behind Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
This sucker's electrical, but I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. 1.21 gigawatts!
I think you can see the resemblance.
Level 1 is the level of what's called classical physics.
Yeah. And he has claimed, again, that he has seen an alien in a 4K video, crystal clear, talking. He knows they're alive. Right? Now, I've got a clip for you that I've broken down into two parts. He spoke with Jeremy Riss, who is known online as the Alien Scientist. I have interviewed him before on the podcast if you want to check that out. But let's get to this first clip again of Jack Sarfatti talking about this 4K video, right, of the typical gray alien that you're used to seeing, right? He says they're real, and you heard him talk. Let's play the first clip.
Right.
Can you go into more detail about what you were talking about, evidence of the grays earlier you mentioned?
I got to be careful because I was read into classified information by a guy who shouldn't have showed me what he showed me. So I have to protect my, like Ross Cohort says. But what I can tell you is that I have basically 100% certainty. I have seen a live gray. I've heard it talk. I've seen it in 4K.
Not while doing acid with Timothy Leary. No.
Forget Timothy. There's dead long time. Don't joke about this. This is I'm giving you
real
information.
Like you're under NDA and sources sort of thing.
Real information. This is important information. This changes everybody's conception of reality. Okay, I can tell you that the grays are real. I have seen classified military intelligence vetted from a guy who I know very well, okay? And the grays are real. These tall humanoids, kind of, scary bastards, they're real. And the orbs are real. So I know of those three for sure. I'm sure there are others. Okay, other people say others. I don't know about the Nordic. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm just saying what I have seen.
At least three. You're verifying.
Yes,
so
verifying three from. Let's put it this way: the probability that I've been lied to, it's about 1/100th of 1%. It can always be wrong, right? I can always be, But I have very high confidence, Bayesian statistical confidence, that what I'm telling is the truth and it's real. Okay. I also know that the U.S. Navy had at least one intact retrieved craft, and I know how they fly it. They fly it, but they don't understand how it works. They fly it because all these craft are alive. Igor, it's alive.
Conscious.
These are conscious artificial intelligence. Okay.
Are they type 3 cybernetics?
Wow. But
I've heard that the term cybernetics was, came out of these programs and stuff.
Well, that could be. Actually, that's an interesting thing because I was a graduate student at Brandeis in 1960 when Norbert Wiener at MIT, he's the one who coined the term cybernetics. So, and I was, one of my professors was an associate of Norbert Wiener's. So I don't know. But the point, it's what I'm saying, it's conscious artificial intelligence. Remember, the CIA, 50 years ago, it's in How the Hippie Saved Physics, said, Jack, we want you to work on two problems. How does consciousness work? Physics, not the airy-fairy bullshit.
Right.
And how do flying saucers fly? 50 years ago. Okay.
And look how
so
far
none of this stuff is new.
The time crystals and the microtubules and all that. And
that was before anybody knew about microtubules. So it's up in 1973, 1974, 1975. All right? We didn't know, but now we know. Yeah, then all this stuff has happened.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there, right? One is this 4K alien video that we will get to more in a little bit because he comments again on it, the second part of this clip. But he also mentions other things in here, right? That the Navy has a recovered craft, right? And that these craft are alive, right? This is very interesting, right? To say the least. And he also talked about a book, right? How the Hippies Saved Physics. And he was a part of this, Jack Sarfatti, and this great author wrote this book about it. Here's a clip of them talking about this movement back in the 70s that involved science and some hippies from San Francisco, including Jack Sarfatti.
The book is called How the Hippies Saved Physics. It's supposed to be kind of playful title. And it's looking at some really dramatic shifts within the physics profession that took place not so long ago in recent history. So I'm looking at mostly the 1970s. The shift had to do with a real reversal in priorities, in funding, in the structure for trying to do physics, to learn about the natural world in this country. And caught up in that shift were a bunch of sort of colorful, very smart, little eccentric characters. Many of them were sitting in the midst of this kind of counterculture bloom in San Francisco. It was a time, late 60s or into the early 1970s, of interest in all kinds of things that now many of us would call kind of occult, mind reading, UFOs, that kind of stuff.
All right, so before we get to the last part of this clip of Jack Sarfatti talking about this alien 4K video, because there's more, something at the end of the first clip caught my eye or my ear, right, which was this date, 1973. And when I looked on Wikipedia for Jack Sarfatti, right, his claims of being in the CIA Stargate program is true. You can see that there are documents on the CIA website with his name, things he wrote, So, but one thing in particular is this recording from 1973 in Italy that takes place with Hal Puthoff, Jack Sarfatti, and Russell Targ, right? It's really hard to find, but I found it. And I'm going to play you a 1-minute clip to kind of give you a better idea of who Jack is and what he's been talking about for decades, right? Here you go.
This is what's called the naked singularity. It's not even sure if this can happen, but it's theoretically possible. You can actually see particles coming out of the black hole, whereas if the thing weren't spinning fast enough, things can fall in, but they can't get out. But if a black hole is spinning fast enough, things can get out. It's called a naked singularity. So that's one thing I can think of how you might sort of gedunk an experiment. But
so it seemed like this concept came to you, and not a normal, rational, just putting together of all the other things.
I'm basically very intuitive. I mean, I've written about maybe 15 physics papers.
This may be an example of psychic functioning.
It could be.
But with the black hole, but with these particle density that is 10 to the minus 24th, it's not going to help us with an explanation of how psychic functioning functions.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I have things to say about that too. But I was only mentioning all this to illustrate that perhaps the way I've gotten these ideas may have something to do with psychic phenomena. I'm not sure, because it's not only me who's getting them.
So Jack Sarfatti is clearly connected to UFOs, psychic phenomena, remote viewing, right? CIA secret programs. And here he is talking about seeing classified information he's not really supposed to be, maybe repeating. I don't know. Talking about this alien video, this 4K video. Now, there's a lot of questions that don't get answered in this, right? Which is why I've reached out to Jack Sarfatti to see if I can get an interview with him and we can talk more about this and other things, right? But let's get to this last clip of Jack talking about this video. Now, they try to ask him some questions, and he kind of blows them off saying they're stupid questions. I disagree. I think they're phenomenal questions that these guys are asking, and I would ask even more, right? Which we'll get to kind of at the end of this. All right, let's roll the clip.
So, okay, I got a question in regards to the 4K video of like the gray, because it's like there's rumors that they like don't have like souls, like that they don't have empathy style of thing.
I
like,
don't know. I didn't talk to it. Who cares? Not important. Who cares? That's bullshit.
No,
it's like your feel for it.
What the
Like,
hell's
what
a
sort of
soul?
thing did it seem in this video? Like, did
Can I
it have
just
a
say something,
personality? Like, can you describe it?
You know Walter Bosley, right?
What?
Walter Bosley, right? We've interviewed Walter before. I know Bernie knows Walter Bosley, but Walter
Quite well,
Bosley's dad worked for the Aero Med Lab at Wright-Patterson Air Force
I don't
Base.
know Walter Bosley. I don't know Walter Bosley.
Walter Bosley, former FBI,
worked
former Special Air Force investigator as
All
well.
right, so what does he say? What did he say?
Yes, he's OSI, and his father worked at the Aero Med Lab at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in the early 1950s. Said that there's bodies there. He said he saw the bodies.
Yeah. Well, of course there are bodies there, but I'm talking about a live one, not a dead one. I'm talking about a live one.
I know that's crazy. You said you
right. So the live one, did it have a personality? I just like.
That's a stupid question. What are you asking me if it had a? I don't know. Do you
I
have
don't
a
know.
personality? If you ask me,
because you're talking about AI, right? You're talking about artificial intelligence and like these alien things. It's like, do they have personalities? Are they AI? Like, what the F are they?
Look, hey, schmuck, listen to me. You go. I've said that. You go. I've said it many times. You go look at section 7 of that paper by Pavel Pilkin. I keep posting it all the time. You read that fucking paper and you learn something first before you ask a stupid question.
Okay.
It's this elementary shit. It's a solved problem. You guys are it's like on Planet of the Apes.
All right, one thing we can't agree on is that he's got quite the personality, right? Which, to be honest with you, I love characters, right? And people with personality, with un poco de pasión. I don't mind it. So, but I do have questions about this 4K video, and I get them wanting to ask some of these things, right? What it was talking. Was it talking English? What language was it talking? And was it just talking, or was it having a conversation with a human, another being? Is it just the one? When you say 4K video, like, what are we talking about, right? What does that mean exactly? What was the angle? Was it, medium shot, a close-up, a wide angle, multiple? What was the lighting like, right? Yeah, I think these questions are completely normal. Was it blinking? What did the skin look like? The texture? Could you tell how it interpreted, if it was communicating, right? Was it listening or another way, right? I don't know. I'm just saying. All right, were there other people in the room? How many videos are there? How long is this video? Do you see what I'm saying? These are questions just off the top of my head. So I have a million questions about this, and I don't think there's anything wrong to ask those things, if I'm being honest, right? I would definitely push back on Jack and give him the reasons why I think those questions should be asked. Now, he may not have the answers, but to just say none of that matters or it's stupid, I disagree. The devil's in the details. And I want to say hello to the devil. Not the way you think, because he's in the details. Anyway, let's move on from that. So, look, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Just know that out there is this video existing, right? The Greys exist. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace!
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.